Welcome in, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me. Today, I'd like to discuss a few thoughts on working with challenges and struggles in our life. In particular, I'd like to talk about this idea of surrender and what that might mean in a few different scenarios. In traditional Buddhism, you don't see the word surrender that much, though you do see it embodied within different kinds of practices and ways or attitudes of relating to emotions, thoughts, our life within meditation, also just integrating meditation into our daily life. And so I thought it might be a useful topic to share some ideas on. As always, let me know in the comments what you think. I really welcome and appreciate your feedback. If you're listening to the podcast on iTunes or Spotify, you can always go to my website, scotttusa.com. Leave me a message there. I appreciate it very much. So surrender can mean a lot of different things, depending on the context or, how we take it personally. So I wanted to define how I use surrender within my meditation practice, within my Dharma practice. Maybe I'll define how I don't use it first, which is this kind of cocooning type of surrender where we're actually collapsing more into our ego clinging, giving up our power and agency to an external figure, or just kind of quitting within cynicism. And that's not the kind of surrender I'm going to recommend, applying to our struggles and challenges. So the kind of surrender I'm going to recommend and talk about today is more this aspect of learning to be curious, open, and fluid with struggles and challenges. So it's more an idea of surrendering our fixation and limiting beliefs around who we should be in any given situation, or someone else should be, or how a situation should play out. So basically, I'm talking here about surrendering our clinging, surrendering our attachment, and learning to flow more with life, learning to flow more with a situation that's a struggle for us, whether it's a difficult emotion, bad weather, a car not working, an argument with a family member or intimate partner, whatever is challenging us in that moment, we can choose to surrender our clinging, that has to be a certain way, or look a certain way, or even work out in what we think is a way that's going to be favorable for us or the people we love. And this is challenging because in a way we're choosing to lean into chaos here. We're choosing to lean into uncertainty. And I want to share a few practical approaches that I use on a daily basis to lean into that. One is to work with embodiment. So for me, I'm dropping into my body, into my feet, legs, abdomen, many times throughout the day. I'm trying to become aware of the sensations. I'm trying to allow sensations to move in a way they want to move. I'm attempting to allow emotions to move in the way they want to move. And of course, as a Dharma practitioner, also working with thoughts, though that's not easy. So what this provides is some ground where right away I'm opening to my own internal experience before I start to open or be curious about an external experience. And so here there's an acknowledgement, maybe in a way there's an acceptance, and there's a letting be with my experience. And so through that letting be, then I can start to apply more curiosity and openness to an outer situation, be that a disagreement, traffic jam, someone being late to an appointment, that I need to get something done in, whatever it is, right? Something that's not going my way in that given moment. And so these core practices of curiosity, openness, and, I guess you could say patience, but I look at it more a little bit as attunement or attuning to others around me or a situation around me, and experimenting, practicing. And so what this means is, first of all, being curious. Am I seeing the situation as it is, or is there more to it than appears? So allowing some open questions. Now, again, these might not be literal questions for me, but they're just a sense of opening to more information that, it's kind of a prompt for me internally that maybe I don't have all the information of how this is functioning or existing, right? So I don't assume that I know. So there's a sense here that I don't have all of it figured out. And there's an acknowledgement of that, which is actually quite relaxing. For me, I can have quite a judgmental mind sometimes, and so there's a relief here that like I don't have to use my judgment all the time. I can just try to stay present and open, and again that leads to some sense of openness, spaciousness, and then attunement. Because when this involves other people or an environment or a situation where we're not just working with our internal experience of emotions and thoughts, often there needs to be some sense of attuning to how other people are feeling, listening, asking them directly. And sometimes if people don't want to tell us, or maybe they don't even know, we have to attune in a deeper way. And this is really, really challenging. So I treat this more as a practice than like that I should be perfect at this. And so again, there's even room there for leaning into not being perfect at any given task, or not being perfect at my relationships. And it's something where I can grow, right? Moment by moment. So for me, this is how I relate to surrender as an art, because there's a fluidity, there's a creativity to it in each moment. And there's a give and take. I was talking with one of my mentees the other day, and I started referring to this more as like a call and response. I used to play a lot of Afro-Cuban, Afro-Brazilian, and West African drumming music. And those kinds of styles of music always rely a lot on call and response. And it's really beautiful because you have to listen deeply to the other musicians around you, and you respond. But also it teaches you how to relate to life, because you're doing something and sometimes not doing something. So, sometimes not saying something is also saying something. And then there's a response, and we pay attention and we listen. What is going to bring more openness, joy, compassion within our lives and the lives of those around us. So it's almost like we're tuning into this, I call it a cosmic call and response, like a universal call and response, just attuning to the space around us and then responding. And sometimes we don't always know the proper response. So we can surrender or let be with this need to know and just try to open. So just want to share a few thoughts here on this. As always, let me know what you think. I appreciate and welcome your feedback, and I hope you have a good one. Thanks so much.